Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's live SEO question and answer session with Mr. Chris Palmer and my good self, sponsored by the news guy. The link is below, Mr. Randy Roday's service. Amazing PR service if you're looking for deliverables for a client, brand exposure, referring domain count going up, and all of that good stuff. Then check out the man, Mr. Randy Roday. But we are here to answer your questions today, so make sure you let us know where you're from, just like Honey has. Randy is here as well. Put your questions in the chat. We will work our way through as many of your questions as we possibly can, as quickly as we can. The job is to answer them all before the hour is out. So if there's anything you've got to ask, doesn't matter if it's a stupid, shitty little question, please do ask it. We'll do our best to try and answer it if we can, of course. And yeah, that is the rant over. But yeah, even if you're just listening in, where are you from and all of that kind of stuff, and we will get round to giving you a shout out and, of course, answering the questions. We also do have Big Hawks here. Another regular, so good to see you, Honey and Randy. Look, Chris.
Hello.
We do have the first question.
Great.
Already. Yeah. So we'll just go in there and ask or answer, Huzafia's question. Should I submit my sitemap to Google Search Console now, even though some pages aren't created yet and others need optimization, or wait until all my website content is fully made and optimized? What do you do, Chris?
Well, I don't know how big your site is for this to be a concern, because really we want to call Google as many times as possible, right? To see the fresh content, see updates, have them come back. So I think if you've made it so far and you already have your pages up, high commercial intent pages, your info pages, there's stuff done, but there still needs to be stuff done, and you're still going to add, I'd submit the site now and then submit it again when you're ready.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is my thought process. Why wouldn't you want Google to pick up even basic content? Do you know what I mean? It's just getting time under your belt and stuff like that. So, would you want to hold that back from being out there, even if it's substandard? And what I would say is, even when I initially started out with a website, it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but was the content added to, optimized better, videos added, blah, 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 blah. I think that's natural for anyone's website. So I think, get it fucking unleashed to Google as quickly as you possibly can in the first instance.
Get it up.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, unless you're one of those guys adding 500 at a clip. And then maybe slow it down.
Nah.
Because I talked to some guys, they're like, hey, I've been cycling keys. Should I tone it down off 1,000 a day? And I'm like, yeah, let's slow it down a little.
Yeah. But Randy has a question. If building links to your GMB map, which form of the link URL do you think is best? CID, share, place, or something else, or a combination of them all?
Well, I can only speak from what we use and from testing. I like to use links that are not dynamic. So as long as the link doesn't change, I would consider that to be a good place to send links. Now, I wouldn't want to send links to something that is unseen by people that aren't like us, right? Like something that's unnatural. Per se, the CID. Like a normal person's not going to share that. They might get lucky and share a KGMID link, right? Because that's an easy share link. They might just share the whole maps URL. Stuff that doesn't change and stuff that's easily shareable that doesn't change. That's what I would stick with.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also, what I would add to that though, would it be natural to send links to a CID URL?
Who even knows what a CID is?
Yeah, that's
like, we know.
Yeah, but we're freaks.
Yeah, we're freaks. Freaks.
Yeah.
We're freaks, baby. Like I know where all the links are. I even know which ones change and which ones don't.
So I think if you want to build, and what what Google are arguing is, you have to do this shit naturally. I think the CID and things like that is just a red flag, if you like. But hey, that's just my opinion on it.
Yep.
But Honey has a question, and it's one of those basic questions, but I'm sure we're asked it all the time. Any good affordable hosting provider for local sites? Which hosting do you use personally, Chris?
Google and Cloudways. And then like certain clients I have on WP Engine. Sorry.
This is a really hard one to answer. In my opinion, it's a real basic question. You should be able to just rhyme off what you use.
Right.
However, I use WPX hosting for my own website. Why? Because the server there is built for WordPress. The guy that built it, built that company, is a previous SEO, and he built it for WordPress. Not every server is built for WordPress, and I like the service, I like the support, blah 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 blah. But also it depends on location that you're wanting. So certain American websites I host in SiteGround, just because I can flick various packages around. I can have like stuff in an American server and I can have stuff in a UK server. And again, I've got stuff in other countries because I target those other countries. So I think it really comes down to country as well. But if I think Cloudways and stuff's another one, Chris. You've mentioned there, a great big established company like SiteGround. So I think SiteGround, Cloudways, and various other ones. But there's other ones like WPX and stuff that I personally use because the support's solid. It's it's probably slightly more expensive than some of the other ones, but it's fast. It's got its own CDN. There's various other add-ons that I like, and Randy also backs me up. I love WPX, very solid. So you don't get many problems, and the minute you do have a problem, their support is second to none. So that is what I'm looking for from a host. And do I get that from the hosting companies that I've always used? The answer's no. Some of the support is little to none or takes too long. So, I think these are the things you should be looking for, Honey.
There you go. What's important to you, right? What's important? Super fast servers that run well, or when you have a niche that gets scratched really quick, or a combination of both. I like them both. I heard nothing but great things about WPX though.
Yeah, no, they are. I've used them for probably the last 5 years, and genuinely any minor issue which has never been their fault that I've had, they've went above and beyond. Their support team have done shit that for me is out with their remit, fixing things in my website and stuff as well, just to get me running again. So a big shout out to WPX and Terry Kyle, because he's a solid guy. Old OG in the SEO space, by the way, Chris. He used to do all the speaking and all that stuff back in the day. Now he likes the quiet life out in Bulgaria and does his thing, but runs WPX.
I can understand.
I
can understand that.
But nah, good guy, great guy, and great service. But think different.
Spelled different. No.
It's best time to start an affiliate website. Is it a good time to start an affiliate website just now, Chris? Is that something you think advising others is a good thing? I
think it's a great time to do anything that you want to do. If you want to do affiliate, great, go for it. As long as you have a main flow coming in that you can cover all your overhead and then you can invest the time. Yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time to try to earn and advance yourself. Sure. Is it for me? Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah. I think affiliate, can it work well for anyone? Of course it can. I would argue a lot of affiliates have been slapped over the recent years with the various different updates and stuff like that. Does that mean affiliate marketing can't work? Of course it doesn't. I think there's a lot of people saying affiliate is dead and stuff like that. It's far from dead. That's a fact. It's how you promote that. And I think a lot of SEO people will say affiliate's not great because the websites have been slapped because they've done a small amount of work or very little work on it, and it didn't work out for them. So I think, like Chris says, now's a good time to start anything that's going to make you money online. So if that's your route to money, do I make money through affiliate? Of course I do. And I will continue to make money through affiliate. And for me, affiliate marketing is not just, rattling out a WordPress website. I can promote stuff in YouTube with an affiliate link. I can do it in TikTok, whatever. That is what affiliate marketing is. It doesn't have to be content heavy websites, which every SEO thinks is that's the single mind approach. So
it's more omni-channel. Yeah.
100%. Eric McDonald, when creating citation and Web 2.0 links to location pages, should you use the same citation link to all the different locations?
For me, I think there's a difference between a citation and a directory. We obviously want to make sure that we're getting unique referring domains. And if we're looking at metrics, PA is just as important as DA if we're looking at Moz. So if I'm looking to get cheap, fast, safe links to internal pages, and I just so happen to maybe double them up from location to location, there's times that I will. Is that optimal? No. But if I'm looking to get cheap, safe links to an internal page, especially a location, sometimes we'll build the same directories. For sure. Yeah. There's times. Oh, yeah. It's not optimal, though.
Yeah. Another question from Huzafia. Does my robots TXT file need to list my sitemap? And why does this matter for SEO?
Does it need to? No. Why does it matter? You're pointing out the sitemap, HTML and the XML. A lot of plugins for WordPress will automatically add it. And I've gotten this question before because they're adding it. Hey, is this important? Before they were adding it, we never added it to the robots. So if you want to have it, great. If not, I wouldn't be overly concerned. As long as I wouldn't be worried.
Nah, definitely not. I would agree with that. Next question from Francis Baguma. After fixing your 404 errors, do you submit your sitemap again, or do you let Google do its thing?
Well, can Google do its thing without you doing that? Yes, but we're humans, right? We need satisfaction now. So even though Google is going to crawl it when they feel like it, I still like to submit and get the feeling where it says, hey, this has been seen and submitted. So what we'll do is after we make our edits or changes, we have the sitemap that's already existing. We'll remove that old one and submit a new one.
Yeah.
Inside a Search Console. It's a feel-good factor, but they're going to crawl it when they darn well please.
Yeah.
No matter what it says. So
that is sadly the way Google work. But there we go. Glenart has a question. Is there schema for images? If so, how do I use image schema to have a better chance of showing up in Google's rich results and or Google Images?
Yes, there's schema for anything that you can mark up on a page, almost anything. And then Google has an outline of structured data, stuff that gets enhancements. I think there's 26 of them. In any case, there's one that's for images. If you take a look, there's your basic image schema types where it's the size, the contributor, the dimensions, all that stuff. But then there's little sub attributes that you can add. If you just look up Google structured data features, you'll see it right inside their website. It'll give you everything that you need to know. It'll tell you which ones you need, which ones you don't, where to add them. It tells you everything. That's what I'd rock with.
What I'd also say, Glenart, I'm not saying schema doesn't help with images at all. do you need schema to rank an image on Google Images? You don't. Yeah, you can send links to that, do embeds, and various other bits and bobs. We have, I also think the website that the image is on will contribute to whether it ranks. And Randy, who's in the chat somewhere or be listening in the background, we all had a image ranking competition in my private mastermind, and one guy leveraged his PR brand, and I leveraged Randy's, and I think obviously that image on a high profile website obviously is a much better chance of ranking as well, based on the power of a website. And one of the releases we done went out in Yahoo Finance, and that's the one that won the competition, just because of the sheer power of Yahoo Finance. So again, if you're trying to rank an image, leveraging something like Parasite for images or whatever you want to call it, you can leverage the power of another thing. But also, when we do image, or if I want to rank an image, would we leverage something like Pinterest or Flickr or whatever? Are we exploiting the value of that? Would I want that particular, if I need to rank an image quickly, and I'm going to put that on these platforms as well. But again, if it's, a product or whatever, of course you want your products, and people to click on it and then come and buy or whatever. So it depends what you mean by ranking an image as well. You can use and leverage the third-party websites, if you like, to rank an image if it's for fun or whatever. But I think, building links to the images and embeds and everything work well as well. So just throw that in there. And as I say, I'm not saying schema doesn't work, but did I add schema to any of the images that in that competition? Nah. I couldn't be asked. It's the answer. So is it the be all and end all? In my opinion, it's not. But everything you want to do, you want to tick as many boxes as you can. So yeah,
within time and budget.
Yeah. But John Simpson, what would be a reasonable amount of time, or a reasonable amount for a local plumber, to spend on local SEO services? I'm in Scotland, just like Craig. I'll answer it first, John. In Scotland, the SEO is not outrageously competitive. Chris will answer it from a New York type of background, which is fucking ultra competitive. But where in Scotland are you? Is it Edinburgh, Glasgow, that type of thing? A plumber could easily spend $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month between Glasgow and Edinburgh trying to rank for those services. Are they likely to get a return on investment on it? Yes, there's still enough search volume and stuff like that there. But I do think there's SEO guys out there who will say, I can do it for £200 a month. You can't do a lot for £200 a month. Whether that's even manipulating your map listing in both Glasgow and Edinburgh is going to be difficult to do for £200 a month. By the time you pay for proxies and other things. So I do think, obviously, I'm based in Scotland. I've got friends who've got agencies in Scotland. You're going to be looking about that amount if you really want to attack it properly. There is going to be so many other people saying, nah, I could do it for £5. On you go then, do it for £5. I'll pay you £5 as well. I'll just charge someone else £1,000 and you can do all the donkey work if there is anyone that can do it for £5. But yeah, it's the plumbing niche. The point I want to make there is, no matter what, you've got 24-hour emergency plumber, emergency plumbers, and all the other variations of keywords that a plumber might want to be found for. There's so many keywords and so much business and traffic that you are going to have to hit that with a reasonable amount of money. But I don't know what you think, Chris, in terms of that compared to New York. What would be your minimum price for a local plumber in the big areas, not the little shitty areas?
Yeah, I mean, in a big area, it still comes back to the same question to me is, well, where are you currently at? Like, are we just starting? Because when we add time, that also adds cost, right? Because I still need to do foundation. I need citations. I need directories. I still need to build your who you are, what you do, and where you do it. So I to give a definitive answer on number would be wildly hard, depending on where you're at, how long you've been doing it. Do you even show up for your brand? There's a lot of questions, but to put a number on it is very, very difficult. Very difficult without knowing where you are. But if it was New York City and you were just starting out, I'd say 8 to 15.
Yeah.
You know, somewhere in that range. I don't know. In a 6-month time.
Yeah.
Very hard though.
But yeah. Black Hole Super Sloth. What's happening, boys? Good to see you, mate. Eric has a question. When trying to rank a local contractor for services and the competitors are mostly lower DAs under 10, is on-page and location pages the best approach as opposed to link building?
It's not one or the other. Yes, there's a lot of things that we can do with better technical and better on-page, better internal linking, better structure, just an overall better understanding of fundamentals. And yes, you'll succeed in a lot of areas. But some SERPs you might look at and think it's sweet, and you need those external votes to push you up. So it's not an either or. It's not one's better than the other. It's a combination of both until you reach success. So hopefully that helps you out.
Yeah.
Nail the technical and the on-page first.
Yeah. The other only little bit I would add to that is, obviously, I don't think there's as opposed to doing link building, I think you always have to do some form of link building, like Chris says. How much of that do you need to do is the big question when it comes to operating in niches where maybe the competition are not doing a great amount. You need to do more than what those are doing, though. And I think for me, I wouldn't be looking to do as opposed to link building. Link building is still something I'd be thrown at it from the start. Getting the power to that domain and doing, super amazing technical and on page, and the hope that would get me there. But again, if I didn't quite land there, what is the answer? Is it more link building? And it always is, like Chris says, to nudge things up a little bit. It is always going to revert back to that. But I think for me, I don't have the mindset. I'm going in most niches, or almost every niche I've ever been in, I have to attack it with links. So when I'm starting out, whether it be local or whatever it may be, I'm attacking it with links right from the day one. Even whilst the content stuff being created, I probably already sent a bunch of links to that domain name just to get some power and authority going to it. So I think that's all I can really add on there. Honey saying, if someone fetches an image from my website to their website, considering there is no live link on their website, does it help in SEO? Does Google consider it a backlink?
Image fetch like a hotlink, in a sense? What are we getting at here with an image fetch? What do you mean by this?
I don't know if they mean just taking an image that's on your website and placing it on mine. Would that constitute a link when there's no live link there? Absolutely not.
Nah.
But could I embed Chris's image on my website, which is actually on his website, the hotlinking? That's a different story. So let's say that is the what Honey's asking. Do you feel that has benefit and that's a backlink?
I feel like there's a little bit of benefit. It's hard to gauge though.
Yeah,
that's so hard to gauge. I wouldn't bank my whole backlink profile on it. I know that. It might be a fun little tactic, but I've never seen that consistently produce results. Yeah.
Obviously you hear hotlinking, or if you read stuff from fucking 2013, a lot of people were talking about that stuff, but it's not something I'd be sitting there thinking that's going to get me any major value.
No.
Defo's not. But Eric, when ranking for local businesses, service contractors, etc., Should the focus be on ranking in the map pack in the first instance?
Regardless of the business, definitely professional service or service type. I think the objective is to rank in 3 places. I never just want to lean on one. I want to be able to get ads, I want map, and I want organic, or a little bit of all. I wouldn't just focus the whole campaign on one thing. I'd be looking to disperse the marketing efforts. Maps is a focus for sure, but not to lack on organic. And hey, let's not forget that we could get lead flow today from LSAs.
Yeah.
So it's a combo. It all works together.
Yes, I would agree. Not much I can add to that. Christopher Amaral, in GBP posts, is there a benefit to list the URL in the body of the post as well as the learn more section for service and location pages?
I'm not sure what kind of benefit you're looking for, but I am trying to drive a click per se, maybe over to the website. Generally, when we're creating posts based on services and locations that we provide them in, right? So the post is going to be referencing X service and X location, and then I'm going to point it to X page. I have a relevant post pointing to a relevant page, trying to get relevant traffic. It's just good optimization. It's just best practice. But is it going to give me like a lift or some crazy lift? I wouldn't be looking for that. When they used to show those analytics on the amount of clicks that it used to drive, it would get a lot of impressions and maybe 1 or 2 clicks.
Yeah.
It's just not a big driver. But overall, at the course of a month, at the end of the month, you might drive some traffic.
Yeah.
So just stay consistent and point to relevant pages, and I think you'll be great.
Edge Creative, going back to what Chris said, what's the difference between citations and directories?
In my opinion, the difference is double verification of the business or having a business email or a phone number. See, a lot of sites, you can't just go there and just lay anything with a bogus email or a bogus phone number. A lot you can, those are directories. But your double verified niche specific or your main citations, they have to be verified. It's either a verifiable email or they're going to double verify with SMS. So I would consider that a citation, and anything you could just go drop, that's a directory. This is my own opinion, though.
Makes sense. Makes sense. John Simpson, thank you, Craig. I appreciate your response. I learn a lot from both you guys and made some significant moves with my brand and keywords in the SERPs. Keep it up, John.
John.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard work when you're starting out and doing it for you, and trying to learn for yourself. It definitely is hard, but I think a bit of elbow grease and making a few moves will certainly set you ahead of a good 80% of the competition out there. I don't think a lot of these plumbers are doing any great work. I think the top dogs are, if you want to dominate, but I think you can definitely make significant moves in the right direction. So keep it up. But before we answer this one, do keep the questions coming, guys. We're nearly at the halfway point of the session. Also, do give us a little like, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff on the channel. But think different. Craig, please suggest me an SEO tool. I don't have $150 to spend in SEMrush. So, Chris, you don't have the fucking money for SEMrush. You just don't. You're starting out. What's the fucking what's your go-to? What's the workaround?
I mean, I don't know if this goes against anything, right? But I mean, if you don't have dollars for tools, then generally we're looking for either inexpensive tools or free tools, which there's only so much that you can do. Or I'm looking to go in with a friend, so maybe we can share an account, or looking for a group buy. And that's what I'd be looking for.
Yeah.
I just very similar.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything. What Chris said is the answer, but yeah, I need to be careful what I say on that. But there is options out there. Let's just put it that way. But what I will say,
You're gonna pay though.
You're going to have to pay something, but certainly from a free tool perspective, or some of the other stuff, do they have the same level of data that SEMrush or Ahrefs or whatever have? They don't. They just don't, and that is the key component. I think a lot of newer people to the industry don't understand is you're getting a lot less reliability on the data that you're going after, or the keywords that you're going after. So just bear that in mind as well out there. But as I say, been there in your shoes, and as I say, there's always a workaround. So hopefully that helps you. Yeah, you need to be careful. What we say. Sorry, we can't just give you where to go. But yeah, because you'll end up getting trolled for it. But guys, do keep the questions coming. We have exhausted all the questions. If you don't ask, I will ask Chris questions, which benefit me. But we're here to benefit you. But yeah, so we want to try and answer any questions that you guys that are listening have there. So please do fill up the chat with a heap more questions, and there's some coming in, and we will come and answer them. And Think Definite is laughing. So glad you understand. And Francis Baguma, my old article surprisingly came up in the searches after the last Google algorithm update. It's now ranking for the client's product page, which had a lot of competition. Is that a sign that Google rewarded me for good content?
Perhaps. But what else did you do? Generally, it's not the thing that you think it was. It was the 20 other pieces that you did before that. Did you increase internal links? Did you get rid of old pages? Did you build backlinks? Who knows? Either way, you've been rewarded, and congratulations. And now what's next? Okay, what's next? So hard to say, bro.
Hard to say without seeing it. But I think Chris makes a very good point. Was it the 20 other things that you've done is what combined now has done that, and not maybe the last thing that you've done. So yeah, just think about it that way. I think that's certainly the most sensible way to be looking at something like that. But the thing that throws me is you're surprised at it. I think all of my articles are really good, or I wouldn't put them out there. So you're surprised that it came up. So I'm going to make the assumption it maybe wasn't as good as you maybe could have done it. So yeah, it's weird what happens when updates happen and stuff like that. Sometimes things just move and don't make any sense. There's certainly a load of people I've had conversation with, and they're like, can you look at this piece of shit and tell me why it's outranking me? Some stinking old website that isn't designed well, that doesn't have anything really going for it. So yeah, that's all we can really see on that front. But David Hennessy, are you both doing the SEO masterminds, and how are they going? How is yours going, Chris?
It's going great. Changing a few things, but I think it's great. We've been testing, doing the group coaching or consulting. I enjoyed it immensely. Yeah,
I'm the same. Like, I thoroughly enjoy the group of people that I've got in the mastermind. They're good people. We have great conversations, debates, and everything else that goes on. And it's people are hanging around, so I'm assuming they're enjoying it from their end as well. But yeah, I think collectively as a mastermind, we've got some great people with varying different backgrounds and skill levels. There's a lot of experienced pros in there, and we've obviously got a lot of overlap between our respective masterminds as well. There's a lot of people that are in Chris's that are also in mine, and I think we both have very different
Angles.
Yeah.
Contributions.
Contributions to make to the industry, and and people get a lot of value from them both. Is the point there? I think we've got different styles of teaching, and obviously you do your marathon session, whereas I split mine out over more sessions. But yeah, it's all about trying and testing different things and seeing how the folk in there react to it. And as I say, the feedback I've had, from yours as well, is that people love the shit that you do as well. So yeah, I think they're both doing well, which is what we want, and we've both been doing them for a number of years now. So I hope that's a sign that there's value there. But yeah, long may they continue. That's all I can say. But Big Hawks, what would you guys say are good general strategies for increased brand exposure? Would you say most sites' homepage should be reserved for branded keyword rankings?
So most of the sites that we're working on are localized sites. When I'm working on a localized site, I'm looking to build out the homepage for the brand or the main entity, and then build out my high commercial intent pages, and then build supporting. So yes, the homepage for me is branded brand terms, always. Almost taking the about and the facts and putting it onto the homepage. So homepage and contact, skip out on the about and the facts, trying to rank that homepage for all the branded terms and variations. And then high commercial intent and supporting. That's what we do.
I think it would make sense to do it that way for 99.9% of businesses that are out there. You're going into business and doing all of this marketing with the hope that you grow your brand, and the homepage being the most powerful page in your website, you want to use that to dominate for all your brand exposure. However, what if you're some fucking crummy little business that does a couple of services or whatever? Would you be better using your homepage for your main service? There's an argument for that as well, because it is still the most powerful page in your website, and you don't give a shit about building a brand or whatever it may be. What is it? Are you just trying to make ends meet? So I think most people are setting out to build a brand for the business, but it depends on the situation there and stuff like that. But with a local service client, Chris, there's an argument to be had that the main local service, or even if they've got one local service,
it's one.
Why wouldn't you use the homepage for that? That's where the small percentage of people will not have, you're not going to build branded fucking keywords in your homepage. Utilize your homepage for all the power you can get, and utilize that for the main keyword that you provide.
100%. Yeah, if it's a one location, one service, all day long. Or if you're in Australia, there's something about them with Australian sites. Homepage, primary service, primary keyword, to the moon. But if it's one service, one location, then yes. Or they've had this website, the ranking number 7. They've had the site up. The page has been the same for the last 8 years. Go in there, a little tweak, send some citations, directories, a couple guest posts, and boop, right up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do it, but if they have more than one service or targeting more than one location or have plans on, let's brand the homepage and start executing on the internal pages. But it's not one size fits all, Unfortunate.
Huzafia, how to build brand recognition if the brand business name is not a unique one and doesn't stand out and is being used by many other businesses of all sorts. So for me, Huzafia, if this brand name is being used by every motherfucker out there, how the hell can that be a brand name? That's a key word. That's what I'm asking. If you're building a brand, you're building that brand name. If it's Plumber Glasgow, which is, in my opinion, not a brand name, that's a keyword. And every Tom, Dick, and Harry is using the same one, then of course, you're going to find that more difficult to achieve rankings for. So, I'm assuming it's a keyword that multiple other people are using, and it's not actually a brand. Like, not everyone can call themselves Coca-Cola. That's not how businesses should be working. So I'm not sure. How do you see that question, Chris? Am I misreading that, or?
I mean, uniqueness is what we want. I mean, if everybody and their brother's using it, plus in different industries, it's hard to stand out, which is what you're trying to do. I mean, is it a brand? But then there are certain keywords like we buy houses, where if you can switch the keyword to where they think it's brand, you just take over. Yeah. So, which is a whole nother conversation. Yeah. Very difficult. But you want to have a unique name, I would think. Right? Plus, yeah. I'm noticing for these guys getting these like snippets or knowledge panels, it's very easy when they have a unique name. Yeah. Let's say Craig Campbell. It's very difficult.
That's a whole different topic. But Matt Diggity, there's no one else called that in the fucking planet. You know, so it's easier. So
it's easy. Yeah. We just so happen, like, you have a country singer and I have like this doctor that's all over the place. Very hard. Tricky.
Plus there's probably 100 other Craig Campbells kicking around in Scotland. It's like John Smith. It's quite a common name. So that's the perks of having a shit name. So Craig Campbell SEO is the next best thing I could come up with.
Thanks, Dad.
But it's funny. But Andreas is asking, are you guys coming to Chiang Mai this year? Planning to go for 2 or 3 months with the girlfriend? Something to look forward to? Are you going to get your ass out there this year, Chris?
I really want to. What month is it?
November.
50-50. I don't know. I met Matt, and maybe just to see Thailand. You know? Why? Do you think it's worth it?
I thoroughly enjoy the conference for sure, and I like Thailand, and I like the whole atmosphere surrounding the conference as well. So I've always said it's one of my favourite events that I've ever been to, and I just think it's not just the conference, it's the whole atmosphere and the people and all of that combined. Everything. For me, is why I say it's the best. It's not, you know, any one thing. So I thoroughly enjoy it. Will I be there in November? I am undecided. And the only reason I'm undecided is, for me, in my position, I can't speak there again this year because I spoke there last year. It's you know, they're not going to have the same speaker year on year. If another opportunity comes up for me in November to speak at, and these events are coming all the time, am I going to try something new in November if someone comes to me and says, Craig, come to Serbia or whatever it may be? So that's where I'd leave my options open. If I'm not doing anything 100%, I'll go out there and chill with the lads and thoroughly enjoy the atmosphere and all that stuff. But I can't commit to it at this stage because if another opportunity arises, then happy days. Plus, I'm also due to be in the Philippines, I think September. It's at the end of September. So do I want to go to the Philippines end of September, then fly home and then go back out 4 weeks later for fucking Chiang Mai? I'll still be recovering, man. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So it will very much be a last-ditch decision on my part. Don't know what Chris's thoughts are, but he doesn't seem to care about flying.
Not a fan, but you know,
it's a long fucking trek for but even longer for you. But it's a fucking long ass trek for me as well. So 20 hours or something for me to get out there, which is not fun.
It's a long run.
Yeah.
Even the Philippines is a long run.
Yeah,
but that Emirates is pretty nice, man. It's
Emirates
nice.
New place to be. But Edge Creative, I have a new GMB page that was verified 4 weeks ago. I'm aiming for lots of legitimate reviews, but don't want Google to flag and burn the page if I go in too quick. What's the most reviews I should be looking for per day? Or if they're all legit, should I worry about it?
If they're all legit, I wouldn't be worried at all. However, it's not the amount that we get all in a rush. It's more of the consistency. A business doing consistent good business is consistently getting good reviews. So as long as we can stay consistent and we're actively posting, we're getting visibility and we're getting clicks and we're getting traffic, this could be helpful for ranking and getting more business. But does it matter how many? No, as long as they're legit. But what would I aim for? I'd be looking to get 1 to 2 every other day or every 3 days, just a few every week.
Yeah.
If you can. Don't go too crazy. But we've tried this though. We've tested 50 at a clip a few times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be worried. If Google doesn't trust it, they won't show it.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? Google don't show every review that's left. Seem to, when I leave a review, they seem to pop quite quickly, but everyone's like, how did yours fucking pop straight away? I'm just like, probably because I've got an old ass account. But yeah, sometimes they must check them and then they pop, a couple hours later or whatever. But yeah, there's certainly ones that don't show as well. So
they still have contribution IDs.
Yeah,
they still exist.
So hopefully that helps you, Edge Creative. Andre says it's the best conference and people, super chill in Thailand. Go to Pattaya or islands after Chiang Mai. Would come for a week before it. Many events every day. It's long. I hate flying. Are you on commission here, Andres?
Yeah, like what?
Jesus. So anyway, we'll come back to that question. But Hufaiza or Huzaifa, the brand name isn't an exact match keyword, but it's used by another entity, a record producer. It's not widely used by just anyone. That was the guy that was talking about the brand that potentially is used by multiple people.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's 2 different niches, 2 different industries. I mean, I'm sure that you can differentiate yourself from a record label, whatever your business is. It's either differentiate yourself and stand out in your own niche in your own industry with your own name, or change your name. It's up to you. What else is there?
When I'm going against, I've got Craig Campbell, the country singer, and I've got another guy who's a comedian. And sometimes I feel like it would just be a hell of a lot easier to fucking change my name than trying to throw off. These guys are big, well-known people that I'm trying to throw off. But yeah, I think sometimes you need to say, is it even worth the challenge? Like I'm not backing down from the challenge now. I've been trying for years to knock these guys off their perch, and I hopefully do get there one day. But sometimes there's a lot of time and effort goes into that, where it might just be easier to change it if that's an opportunity. Obviously, I'm too long in the tooth and can't change my name now.
Right.
I've been around in this industry for long enough where people are going to know I'm not, Craig Smith or whatever it might be. So
you're cooked.
Yeah.
But still, in this instance, I mean, it's a record company. Like, do you think that hey, there's someone else with a different name that's a record company. You think that's going to influence your buyers or your potential customers? Probably not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be worried about that. Worry about doing some more ads or getting links or, redesigning your site. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Andreas says, is it enough to throw citations into an indexer, or should I PBN the hell out of them? What's your experience, Chris?
Man, we're going through this right now because I'm expanding my directory list. The general list is the same, right? Like top 50, top 60 citations. What I found for a higher indexation rate is changing or making uniqueness within the description and or pointing it to a different page, right? So change of URL, change of description, change of logo image, right? So differentiation between different citations. And then the other piece is building links or digital references to those, like to the URLs. I think when you're building links to it, it has a higher probability of getting recrawled by Google, which pushes it back up into the index. So build links or add as much uniqueness to this as you possibly can. That's what I'm finding, but we're testing that right now. because I did like 266 and we had like a 16% of just natural. Like we didn't try anything. They were all the same, just threw them up like, okay, what's going to index? And then I did a batch of 100 all unique. And then I did another batch and we're going to blast links and we're going to see. And then the last piece of the test will be, hey, let's make them all unique and build links. And what do we get? Yeah. And then, yeah, that would be cool.
Makes sense.
Hopefully that helps you out.
For local service businesses, how big a deal is it to build tiered links to citations, guest posts, and directories? Have you ever seen issues from too many tiered links?
Okay. So the first part of the question, is it necessary? No. Can it help for directories and citations for higher indexation rates? Yes. Will it have them stay in the index or the search results longer? Yes. Does it seem to give a secondary push to whatever page it's pointing to or to the overall asset when I tier links? Yes, definitely when I tier them. Is there too many? I think everyone's opinion on too many. Like if you ask Holly, 20 million might be too many, but if you ask me, I might say 30,000, right? You might ask another guy, I'll say 50, right? Yeah. Too many is, who knows? Google's index is huge. But what I do know is when you're building out in bulk, what you can do when you're building out with bulk or automated link building is you can change the overall category of the link or the link's value, right? Like if I'm blasting it with boat links, but I'm a freaking lawyer, this is a problem, right? Yeah. So when you're tiering at scale, changing what type of link it is can be an issue. Plus like the anchor text you're pointing at the tiers, you can mess up, but a normal person I highly doubt will, if that makes sense.
Hopefully it does.
That makes sense to you, Craig?
Yes. 100%.
Okay. Just making sure.
So Andreas is not a paid promoter and all that stuff, but he gets emotional about Chiang Mai. You get that emotional, you've not been back? Fuck's sake, Andreas.
Love.
But he got starstruck in the bar when he met Diggity. Like I did with Woodward. Woodward was my SEO hero back in the day. The guy that you aspired to be. So, I get that feeling. But, Sarju, how to start backlinking? I have a new site, please. How do you start, Chris?
Let's just talk from a local standpoint because that's primarily where I focus my attention. I think the first initial links are going to be internal, building out the pages and pointing your internal links to the pages that you want to rank. The next piece is, well, let's establish the business, the name, business, who we are, what we do, where we're at, citations and directories, easy, cheap. You could probably do them for free. Then I would start looking for Web 2.0 assets that are valued within your niche, right? So looking at each of the keywords that matter to you and which Web 2s are actually showing up. Let's build those. And then I would start focusing my attention on social profiles, even though they're no follow or however you want to look at it. That co-citation means something, right? Like establishing yourself on social profiles and pointing to the asset is wildly helpful. I think that's where I'd start.
Makes sense. That is what I would also advise. So hopefully that helps you. But it's a loaded question. That there's so many different ways you could start that.
For sure.
That's a fucking full hour on its own.
Yeah.
How to start backlinking. You could just go into the rabbit hole of start with citations, go start by some guest posts, go do this, go do that, do a PR release. Randy's link is below. There's so many fucking ways or areas you can start. So, but Andreas is testing a new indexer, Speedy Index, got recommended to me. Super cheap and seems good so far.
Who's that? Who owns that?
Who owns it, Andreas? If you know. Index. Just having a quick look. Speedy Index.
$22 per 5,000, $33 per 10,000.
Helsinki they're based, or so the website says.
Yeah. I mean, what's the indexation rate? Indexers are interesting because, like, you can never it's not about the initial crawl or the initial indexation. It's about keeping it there, you know? So I think anybody could get their stuff crawled and initially seen by Google. The other piece of the matter is can you get it to stay? That's the question. Because I could get 10,000 pages crawled for $33 too. But what's the stick rate on the indexation?
But he doesn't know who owns it, and it runs on Telegram, interestingly.
Cool.
But you can let us know how it goes. Huzaifa, how do you recommend learning about how search engines work and going deep into the rabbit hole? What hands-on work do you recommend to get a deep understanding of how the search engines work? I think that's where you'd need to go and read Google patents, whatever you want to call them. But there's people out there who are geeks like that, you know, that do all of that for you and then relay it in a more user-friendly way. So you can go down the rabbit hole yourself. But, you know, there's guys like Corey out there who are, you know, very, very into that type of thing. And then obviously relays that in his presentations and courses and whatever else he's got. Do you want to be sitting with your head in all of that stuff? Probably blow your brains out. But would you be able to make a good career from understanding all that? 100%. So is it worth doing? It's not for me personally. I'd rather someone else done the donkey work and tell me the things that I need to be doing. So I'm quite happy to pay for people's education time, courses, and everything else. I'm not going to sit and read those fucking things. But Chris, what about you? You know, how do you see this? Would you get down and dirty with all that stuff?
I mean, I do read the patents, not all of them, not like some of these guys. I mean, is that the angle that you want to go? Or would you rather, like, what industry and niche are you in? What's actually interesting to you? Is it affiliate? Is it lead gen? Is it, you know, e-com? Like, what are you into? And then I think the best course of learning is, of course, learning from others' mistakes. But generally, humans and people, us, will learn much better from, I forget the word for it, but learning ourselves. Yeah. So I think while you're intaking information that's niche specific from whomever you decide or wherever you decide, I think also actually implementing your teaching and then learning your lessons. You learn a lot by actually implementing. So yeah. I think that's what I would do. That's my recommendation.
Cool. Andreas, he recently ordered some geo and brand networks from Web20. What's your experience with it, and do they still move the needle?
I look at the Web 2.0s. I can't speak on their service specifically. However, what I can say is Web 2.0s to me are almost like a citation or a directory. It's an unstructured citation. It's another digital reference that's relatively safe, inexpensive. Most of the time I'll get a link back, right? It's a referring domain. So as long as the price was right, I think it's fair. However, if you really actually want to get a benefit from a Web 2, you have to figure out, well, which Web 2s for your niche or keywords are being rewarded. Like there's 100 results per keyword that you're trying to rank for, right? And out of those 100, Google has given how many Web 2s an actual position. Those are the sites that you want to get links from for your niche, for your keywords, you know? So good luck. What's easier though is just buy a list from somebody. Like, hey, build these, you know, $20, $30, whatever it is.
Yeah. Dan Jones, have you ever took over a client's GBP and it's not allowed you to add the website? Every time I submit it, it gets rejected. The website was crap and has only been indexed for a few days. Is it that? So you can't add the website. Is it because it's a shite website?
I've had not that particular issue, but I've had other issues in the past. And what, you know, some of the courses of action are, well, which account are you utilizing? How many accounts are on the back end as managers or owners? And the other piece is how many API connections are there to the asset? Like, do you have buffer? Do you have a bunch of API connections? Shut all the connections off. Make sure it's only one owner and then going through the owner email, and you should be able to deploy whatever you're trying to do. But I've never had that specific issue. But because the site's shite, no.
I've seen some real shitey websites, and
yeah,
they have map listings.
Yeah, of course.
So I've seen some of Slorry's websites. He's just sitting across from me, and
he does great work.
So yeah, but I have seen some shit get on there. So it depends what you're calling crap, Dan. But I think it could be some form of glitch or whatever.
Yeah, try plugging in like a Facebook page or an internal page. Is it just the homepage that's giving you trouble? Is it just that? Try the other pieces first, but try to connect something else just to alleviate that issue. Like, is it the site? I doubt it. There's got to be something else there.
Yeah.
But best wishes.
Yes. But we are out of time, sadly, guys, for another week. But we will be back at the same time next week. But do check out Mr. Chris Palmer or chrispalmer.org for all of Chris's stuff. He is also on YouTube and various other platforms. But I'd highly recommend going to his YouTube if you like knowledge. And also just check the news guy. The link is below for Mr. Randy Roday's PR service. He is a channel sponsor, so please do go over, check him out. And if you like digital PR services, then of course you can buy. But that is us for this week, and we will be back at the same time next week, everyone.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.